And welcome everyone to another ocnLogan Community Starcraft event. This time we are watching the MSL Code S Grand Finals. Getting into the game, we are here on Star Station for game number 4 between two quite impressive players. We have down here in the bottom right hand corner the Red Protoss, who's been on a little bit of a tear lately. He's been able to take his opponent to a 3-0 deficit so far. So this could be match point. This is our Red Protoss player, Gladiator. His opponent up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, the Blue Zerg, making his way through the winner's bracket successfully and now facing probably his toughest opponent. We're going to see if he has what it takes to pull a comeback out of his hat. This is, of course, SilverSnyper. You know, it's not as exciting when there's, no cool crowd to commentate to. I just had to say that. Casting with me tonight, though, is, yeah, I'm not here by myself. It's a little bit more exciting than that. I'm not just a nerd in his room. I'm a nerd in his room on the phone with someone else who's also excited. Co-commentating with Nibbling, giving a shout-out to him. I appreciate him going ahead and be willing to do these things with me. And also, I'd like to point out that he's not commentating from the inside of a Terran starport today. So,
not anymore.
Good job to get yourself out of the SCV line of work.
Yes, it's quite the move up in the world to get myself a nice, insulated, floating command center to work in.
I really think that's the dream of everyone in the Terran army. As you can see, this map is actually floating because it's called Star Station. So enough of that, getting into the game. So we have Pool Hatch out of SilverSnyper. So it's that's actually markedly different from Hatch Pool in terms of the timings. You get your queens out earlier. You're a little bit behind in economy, but you should be able to get a little bit more aggression done, although there is no gas down. So I doubt we're going to see much aggression off the bat. In response, we have SilverSnyper down here with the Forge Fast Expand, which is different from the Nexus First Forge Expand that we saw out of him in game number 2 on Derelict Watcher, which has the same very spiffy Diablo 3 tile set. Just had to point that out again. And so we're going to see another really passive game out of Gladiator, who just now throwing down that gateway at the almost 4-minute mark. That means it'll be at the very earliest, somewhere around 5:45 to 6:30, that you'll see your first Zealots and Stalkers out on the map. So that should mean that SilverSnyper should respond with that third base, which he goes ahead and does. I really feel cool when I declare that people should do things, and they do them. It's like I'm a mystical person that speaks through time on the internet to tell them what they probably should have done. Because I can see the whole map and they can't.
Yeah, I feel like I know a lot of people like that, like forum commentators the week after a big news event. Mainly people, I don't know. I think you're cooler than that.
Okay, I appreciate that. So you're reducing me to forum. Basically, I'm not going to say anything else. I love internet. It's great. The internet, it's a cool place. Lots of weird people there. Lots of fun things. Just be careful out there. It's dangerous.
That's the truth.
So another gateway being thrown down. So still, notice, cybernetics core, not even done. It's going to be done here at just about 5:50. And so it's another 40 seconds after that we're going to see our first, I say first real fighting unit, because Stalkers have the mobility to actually be annoying, whereas Zealots, they can do damage, but they're not going to be annoying because they're too slow. So
right.
In the meantime, we see... See, this is why Zergs need to be up on a base. Look at the worker count. It's really close, actually. With an additional 6 drones just popping out that gave him the lead, he was actually behind. The tech is actually, in terms of tier of units, we actually see the tech is almost the same from both of these players. We're just seeing the gas geysers go down, finally, for SilverSnyper here at 47. Going to throw down the Roach Warren at the same time. And... now we're going to start seeing some actual interesting gameplay going on. Not that the gameplay so far hasn't been interesting, as it's kind of like chess, watching people do things without actual engagements. But now we're going to see a little bit more of what's going to be going on here in the mid-game, because remember, SilverSnyper so far has had really good mid-game armies, but he's not been able to have good engagements. But keep in mind, this is Star Station, which as we were getting into the map, Nibbling told me, this map is huge. He's exactly right. Very large map. It's very similar to Derelict Watcher, where it's got a lot of open spaces. And the bases are actually more exposed. This third base is not tucked away like it is in Derelict Watcher. It is very exposed. The fourth is also very exposed. So these faster units, which Slowlings barely count as a fast unit in my opinion. Ooh, good placement on these Zealots here. He shouldn't actually engage that with the Zerglings. He should, yeah. Leave those alone. Good job.
But taking out the shields and then just leaving them seems kind of silly too. I mean...
They're at a standoff. Check this out. The hurt layer of Zerglings... No Zerglings died there either.
That's true.
So...
I was chilling.
I'm trying to bait him out. Trying to bait him out.
They're on hold position. Maybe?
Instead, SilverSnyper actually just lost his Overlord to, I think... Was it a Sentry? Yeah, the Sentry's down here. Yeah, one of them got a kill.
Warping into the pylon.
Some more Zealots. This could... He had a really kind of cheesy last game. I only say cheese as there was no potential for a follow-up. That's kind of how I define one, is if you have a very aggressive opening, but it continues on to a mid-game. If it fails, that's a good solid game plan. If it doesn't, I consider it a little bit more cheesy. But SilverSnyper does have these these few lings right here, and he does have a spine crawler. So against... Ooh, that's a lot more than 4 Zealots, though. So this is going to be a little bit of panic mode. So we do have 7 roaches on their way. What else is being produced at the time? He has supply. Does he have larvae? Yeah, 14 more roaches on the way as he's under attack. Ring around the rosy. Remember, Zealots can do damage, but they're not generally terribly threatening, as they don't have the speed without charge. So he's not going to lose lots of drones. He might lose this base, but if you look at the units lost...
He only killed 1 worker still. Yeah, it's just all military engagements, so that's good.
Ooh, I'd love to point out the patience of SilverSnyper. Look how low the hatchery is on health. He had the drones just hanging out. He had like 3 roaches saying like, I got this, guys. Like, I'm just gonna warp things in. I'm just gonna try to take him out, and we just let it sit there, and it was a good call as he kept the base. These stalkers here are gonna poke in and take 2 shots and take it down.
Oh no, the roaches come back.
Okay, it does go down. He wanted to make sure that did happen, and it looks like SilverSnyper knew this. He has taken his 4th base the opposite direction, which is usually not quite as recommended, although on this map, it's really quite easy to understand, especially when you generally have the faster units. It's okay for you to expand all over the place, as you can be a little bit more all over the place.
He did discover the proxy pylon, so now that's gone, chasing the stalker, so that's good. And the workers, or the units lost, is a dead even trade. So far, you know, things aren't going half bad. Units killed is definitely in Gladiator's favor, but I'd say it's a pretty even game so far. Especially where Sniper gets a 4th base, where Gladiator only has 2.
It's true. It looks like he's going to be trying to take this base right here. We do have a Void Ray on the map that's causing quite a bit of pain. These roaches are going to break their way in. With a lot of sentries, though, this will go really poorly, especially with the Nexus Cannon. I think he should just run away. Yeah, that's a good choice. It's sad. There's the Skill Ray, going ahead and using its 20-second prismatic alignment for additional damage versus armored, which, so you know, roaches are definitely armored units, as they're really ugly, and generally ugliness in Zerg units corresponds pretty well with armor ratings. Just kind of a pro tip. If you're unfamiliar with the game, when you say that looks nasty, it's probably armored, like Ultralisks. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, armored. Roaches, also ugly, also armored. Zerglings, kind of like overgrown dogs with wings when they have speed. Not as ugly. Mostly just kind of creepy. So there's a lot of really wounded roaches here. I really don't want to see him engage this. I'd rather see him prevent this 3rd base from going down. Because going Colossi, because he's doing the same thing that he's done before. He's going Colossi, Void Ray, Immortal, Stalker, and where's his... Okay, here comes the first Twilight Council. Previously, he's been getting more than 1, so he can get Charge and Blink at the same time. It's a little bit unnecessary in my opinion. However, I'm not a Masters player, so you do what you will. And if he stays true to form, there. Here comes the 2 forges, so he can do double ups. And then where is... I'm going to be watching for a Dark Templar Shrine, as that is what he's done basically every game so far.
Well, SilverSnyper coming in, bringing in some Hydras, so hopefully we can keep the Void Ray a little at bay if there's still only one of them. I'd kind of like to see a push, actually. I mean, he's got it.
You know what I would actually really like to see?
What's up?
Nidus play.
Oh my goodness, that's an excellent point. Now, Gladiator does have some pretty dense bases for that, but like right here could totally be a thing.
Yeah, it could. It would actually be really good. There's a lot of gateways in his base actually that are not warped into warp gates. The problem that he's dealing with is, so Gladiator is relying on what I call a cutesy defense. He's using a lot of force fields. He's trying to restrict units with high-tech units. And instead of having a really large army, he's just using special abilities and things like that. So notice, he's doing force field after force field. He is starting to get in with a few of these roaches, but he's being very cost efficient with these cutesy units that rely heavily on positioning. So good engagement here, lots of good force fields. Want to go ahead and give a shout out for those good engagements. Look at the units lost, it's very lopsided. Gladiator doing a lot better there. Some stalkers over here going to take out this base, which is really annoying. Although one roach is going to come in and try to make a little bit of damage happen. But so yeah, right here, those armies really rely on positioning to be effective. And all those sentry energy. So if he could get in and bypass that, I would have been able to do a lot more damage. Really surprised the Gladiator's not microing this to take out that hatchery. Instead, the hatchery lives, and so does SilverSnyper.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this save. Of course, it all comes down to this one roach. Can he? Yeah, look at that go.
So another drop here in the main. Not going to be too big of an issue. It'll get cleaned up here in a moment. The issue is, will he take out the Warp Prism? So,
and the answer is no.
No, it won't go away yet.
Good drone shielding, though.
Yeah, he only lost 10. Another engagement here at the front. He's getting up close and personal, starting to get some damage onto those big expensive units. If he can take out the Colossi or any of the sentries, that would actually really hamper his opponent at this point in the game.
Yeah, his units lost actually starting to even out. The ratio is.
It is. The ratio is actually starting. Remember, because now these units rely on space control with less energy and less. There's only 3 sentries here. And now fighting a little bit more in the open. Remember the space? Ooh, he's got right up on top of him.
Oh, Colossi.
The Colossi is going to be really close.
Yeah,
he's going to target fire it down. No, he's going to take out those Immortals, knowing those are a big deal for his roaches. Taking out sentry after sentry, and those are the expensive things. Sentries, they're not expensive in minerals, they are expensive in gas. So they're more expensive, as minerals are much easier to procure than gas. Interested to see what the follow-up is from SilverSnyper. It looks like more of the same, 26 lings, 7 roaches, versus just the additional Colossi. Ooh, this is really brazen. It's going to be trying to take this 3rd base while this army has been out here this whole game. I really would have liked SilverSnyper to have been watching that a little bit closer, as that's something very easy to punish.
Oh yes, more overlords. The overlord just kind of derping around could have easily pointed that out.
It's true. Another engagement here. A lot of stalkers. So remember, he's been making stalkers now as he's been forced to, as he needs to get units out so he doesn't die. Stalkers are not near as good in larger numbers. So the Colossi will go down.
The drone line is, or excuse me, not the drone line. The wow.
Yeah, they're called probes.
Drones.
It's fine. Yeah, they're.
Goes unpunished. That could have been a lot of kills right there.
Yeah, instead only got 2 of those there. The stalkers are able to force them back. Another interesting little tidbit about stalkers. Stalkers, great units, very maneuverable. They're very fast, so it allows you, especially with Blink, to get in and do damage and then escape and live. What they do, looking at how much they cost, let me go ahead and click on this here. You can see that stalkers are 125 minerals and 50 gas. Whew, this base does still live. I just wanted to double check that. They cost a relatively even amount of minerals and gas, and what that does, so generally when you're playing a game of Starcraft, you look at your bank, you're trying to figure out what to spend, and you're wanting to keep your resources low. And so you end up spending one or the other, or both. Yeah, good catch here. Gonna get most of those drones. A big engagement here. I don't think this is going to go really well for most of the Zerg army, but most of those probes do go down. There you go. The Protoss hatchery is going to go down. A lot of these overseers are going to go down as well.
Those poor zealots. We'll go get them.
Yeah, my life for hire.
But yeah, he got the Nexus and he got 8 probes. So the cost-efficient trade may not have been there, but I think the economic damage is totally worth it because it goes from 4 base on 3 base to 4 base on 2 base.
Exactly, totally agree there. Also, the Dark Shrine did go down. This time it looks less like a planned thing and more like the win behind Dark Shrine, which is different from the anytime Dark Shrine. Anytime is like, I'm just going to do it. The win behind is a specific, I'm feeling like I'm going to die.
Which is great, because Gladiator hasn't felt like that at all so far. So, comeback for SilverSnyper, methinks.
Yeah, it's looking pretty promising. He is he's losing drones. There we go. Dark Templar in the natural, or in the third. I was watching his
long distance
worker count.
mining at home.
Long distance mining. Okay, big engagement down here, taking out that base again. He's not really dealing with this these two Dark Templar very well at all. The Queen. Go ahead
his
and take
micro's over taking out the taking out Gladiator's third again, which is where the long distance mining's taking place.
Ah, I see. Oh, ooh, this could be a bad engagement, but there's no sentries here. There's no space control. The Zealots, or the Zerglings, are able to get up close and personal. There's no Overseer.
The Archon. There we go.
The Overseer does spot the Dark Templar. The Archon will go down. Good job getting the Roaches up close and personal, allowing all of them to fire at the same time. The Colossi will go down. Ooh, no it won't. It's not quite dead. It's going to be Chase. No, he's just going to be content taking out most of the Gateway army. And what I was getting at before is that when you're under pressure, it's easy to build a lot of the same unit. These Stalkers, very balanced in the amount of money, so you end up with a very balanced amount of money spent, which means that you don't have a lot of money left over for things like teching or additional infrastructure. Because if you build lots of Zealots, you have lots of gas left for upgrades or for high-tech units. If you build lots of sentries, you have a lot of minerals left for buildings and for expansions. With Zealots, the GG taking stock of the situation, knows that he's not likely able to survive the upcoming attacks, and it's a little bit surprising there, but I think it's overall a good call. 77 food to 162. And so, Nibbling, what do you think went a little bit differently in this game in comparison to the first 3?
Pressure, really. I mean, SilverSnyper put on way more heat. Kind of like when I said in that first game, I was like, I wish he had just punched through and then killed drones, which he kind of did. Here, that's what happened. I mean, he destroyed that third twice. That's 800 minerals. Neither of them got canceled. I mean, they were both up. So that's 800 minerals plus the 15 workers killed he managed to get. That is a lot of economic damage for someone who relies on getting to that tech level. I think he's figuring out that if he can just keep Gladiator from getting to tier 3 units, that he can fight it out where he's comfortable, which is the mid-game, and he's proving to be really good at.
It's true. He definitely seems to focus. The early game, not so much. Mid-game does seem to be more his thing, more his style. And then the other thing, so I agree with that. The difference here was he was really forcing different units out of Gladiator. Like I said, the cutesy defense, it's great because it's very efficient. You saw the first few engagements for Gladiator were really good in terms of units lost. He was super cost efficient, but really, in reality, he had like 6 sentries, a Colossi, an Immortal, and 3 Stalkers. So the DPS wasn't there, neither is the health, and as soon as the energy from those sentries was depleted and the space control is gone, that was really when he started struggling. He started replacing higher tech units with more Stalkers, and Stalkers are the equivalent of saying, I'm not going to progress in tech because I'm spending all of my money evenly on these good mid-tier units. And when it came to that final engagement, we only had 1 Colossi instead of 3 or 4. There was no Archons because, remember, he'd been spending gas across the board. And that big engagement that happened just turned out differently as there was no splash damage.
Absolutely.
So good job there, SilverSnyper. We love to see a good set of games. We always hate to see people get steamrolled, mostly because we're fans of fun and of awesomeness. So a fun, awesome game here, and good job to Gladiator as well, but we're excited to get you into game number 4, no, 5? 5.
5.
We're going into
5.
game number 5. I apologize, I had the scoreboard wrong for all of the entire game. But yeah, we're going to be right back here in just a moment, so stick around.